Yeah, hello everyone. Coach Mitch again. I'm going to go over a game I played in 1999, over 20 years ago. Uh, it shows you my philosophy of playing. Uh, I always want to develop and castle. Before I start going crazy and attacking, I want to make sure my own king is safe. And then when I attack, I want to use as many pieces as possible, developing with threats, not letting my opponent attack me. Hey, I want to attack him. So white plays e4. Now, there's no way I play e5 because then he can simply attack me. So back then, what I did was, hey, you don't attack me, I attack you. That's called developing with a threat. If he does nothing, if he plays a move like a3, I just win a pawn, and that's a pretty big deal. So he says, no, you don't attack me, I attack you. And here I could say, hey, you don't attack me, I attack you. Now the knight's threatening the pawn. That's a good threat, but it's a bad move. And it's a bad move because the queen can simply take the knight. So you want to make sure your moves are active, but you want them to be safe. Now I could go back this way to g8. That move is safe, but it's not active. So you got to balance the two. And the best move is knight to d5. My opponent plays pretty well for a while. He's a good player. Developing. And back then I played I want to castle. But if I try to bring the bishop out this way, I block this guy. And I don't want to do that. So this is the system I used to play back then. And my opponent, hey, he wants to develop with threats. Do you see his threat? I bet you do. No, he's not threatening the knight. The knight is actually defended. He's threatening queen takes pawn, checkmate. So I have to defend against that. Now again, I don't want to bring my knight backward because then, hey, I'm going backward. So what I do is I bring out a new piece that defends the knight, but more importantly, defends the pawn. Now the main move here is c4, and it's a very sharp game. I don't know what's going on. Back then I did. And it's a very complicated game. There's a lot of analysis on it. My opponent played c3, and so this is an important moment in the game. It's the first move that I've never seen before. So I said, doesn't seem to have any threat. I guess his idea is so he can bring the bishop to d3 and not worry about my knight attacking it. So I said, okay, just develop. And again, I want to castle first. And so I castle. Now he should castle here, and I think black's a little bit is okay, because black, his king's very safe. His pieces are starting to come out. It's probably equal. But he plays this move, knight b d2. For one, it's not castled. Remember, you got to get your king safe. Another blocks the bishop. So it's sort of like I started to smell blood. I said, okay, let's start attacking. And if you want to attack, you generally try to attack in the center because your pieces are all aiming there. And from the center, then you go from the center to other parts of the board. So I want to attack the d pawn, but if I attack it with a knight, there's no way I can take it because it's defended by a pawn. So I play c5. Now it looks like this is undefended. However, if he takes, he undefends his own knight. So it would not be wise for him to take. Again, he probably should just castle here, but he's defending. Again, you got to get castled. So now there's a long variation, very complicated. Take, knight here. I'm actually threatening to take the knight, and then when he plays pawn takes bishop, to play queen takes pawn. No, sorry, queen takes bishop. Again, the knight attacks the bishop, and the queen is aiming through the pawn at the bishop. So this is pretty dangerous for him. But he plays queen takes pawn, attacking the rook and the knight. Oh, I didn't see that. Actually, I did. So knight takes bishop check, must take back. And then how do I defend the rook? Do I move the knight here? No. I defend the rook and attack the queen and attack this pawn. So I'm actually attacking, the bishop is really aiming at a lot of different things. He's aiming at the queen, protecting the rook, aiming at the pawn, maybe even attacking this rook later. So that's a very strong piece. So now I just take the pawn. That's a good move. And when you see a good move, what should you do? That's right, look for a better one. So what I said is, hey, I'll take a next move. I'll bring out a new piece, attack the queen, develop with a threat. So he moves the queen, and now I take the pawn, right? When you see a good move, look for a better one. So I put this rook, and what I'm doing is I'm aiming, the rook is now on the same file as the queen, so I'm threatening to move the knight away. I don't know what he should do here. I think he's very close to being in a really miserable position. He actually is in a miserable position. So he castles, and I take this guy. Again, the rook now attacks the queen, so he can't take the knight, and the queen can't take the knight because of the bishop. So he goes here. Now, back a few moves ago when I was looking at this position, I said, hey, I'll play here, check. Bishop takes pawn, check. He must take. Queen takes knight. And if you count the pieces, you'll notice that material is equal. But I thought that black was a lot better, and why? Okay, material is equal, but I have, my king is incredibly safe with 1, 2, 3, even 4 pawns around it. A bishop, a rook, so my king is very safe. His pawns are split, and all these guys are far away, so he has very few defenders. And my knight's already near there, my queen's there, my rook can come up and at him, my bishop can come aiming at the, I can quickly have 4 or even all 5 of my pieces aiming at his king, and it'll take him ages to get these guys over. So I thought this was really good for me. And if you look at a computer, you'll notice that black has a pretty big edge. Maybe not winning, actually it's probably winning, but this would be very difficult to defend. Let's turn the computer off. And let's go back. So that's good enough. And so instead of playing knight e2 check and going for that attacking line, when you see a good move, what should you do? That's right, look for a better one. And this was a potentially a 5-hour game. And the game probably has been going on for like less than an hour. And by taking an extra 5 minutes here, by slowing down, I actually made the game end much quicker because after the next couple of moves, he resigned. Let's see if you could see it. Okay, pause the video and see if you could see what black should do. Well, I hope you paused the video. And what black should do is knight takes knight. If he doesn't want to lose a piece, he must take back. And then what should black do? That's right. This is a skewer where the rook attacks the queen and the white rook. If the queen gets out of the way, I just take a rook for free. And if he takes my rook, what do? I take with the queen, right? No, because then he'll take. And that's just an even trade. What I do is if he takes the queen, I take with the bishop. And I've won a queen for a rook, which at the master level is a decisive advantage. So in this position, white resigned. Again, what we learn here is you want to bring out your pieces, all your pieces. Before you attack, you want to make sure you're castled, that your own king is safe. When you attack, you want to attack with everything, developing with threats, bringing all your pieces into the game. And very important, and this goes for everything, when you see a good move, look for a better one. Okay, this is Coach Mitch. I hope you enjoyed this game. Thank you.